So the memory card was full, so we are just gonna pick up where we left off. So Lauren, the restraining order is in stone, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a very long restraining order, so you won't be dealing with that for a little while.
Yeah.
So besides that and your past conviction from a couple years ago, there's no new convictions or anything, correct?
No.
Okay. We will definitely consider that a strength. So what do you like to do in your leisure time?
I like to go on walks, obviously. I like to walk around. And if I can borrow a book from somebody, then I like to read a lot as well.
Do you have any access to the library in town?
No, I mean, I can go in there, yeah.
Have you ever looked into getting like a library card or anything?
No, not really.
Would that be something that you would be interested in? Cool. All right, that's a fun thing that we can look into. Okay. So mental health, we talked about getting counseling. So when dealing with this counseling, what are some main things that you would really want to focus in on during your sessions?
I think just talking about my relationship with my ex, seeing how I'm gonna move forward without him in life, and just trying to understand that whole relationship in general, probably.
Yeah, it's a really difficult case. So I'm sure that by looking at the counseling, that might be a very, very good outlet for you to really be able to process through just a lot of things you've had to experience in the last 4 years. So substance abuse, that was a strength, correct? Okay. So looking at your family, can you tell me a little bit more about the relationships that you have with your parents, like individually? So tell me a little bit about your relationship with your mom, and then tell me a little bit about your relationship with dad.
Okay. Well, I talk to my mom over the phone probably at least once a week. And then whenever I go back home, I stay with my mom.
Okay.
So our relationship is pretty good. Yeah. And then my dad and I don't have as good of a relationship as my mom and I do, but I still see him sometimes when I'm home and things like that.
Okay. You said that you have one sister and one brother? Okay, so what are your relationships with them and their families?
Pretty good. I mean, we talk on the phone, and I try to come back for like my niece and nephew's birthday parties and things like that.
How old are your nieces and nephews?
My nephew is 4. He just turned 4, and then my niece is 1.
That's really cool. Do you get to see them often then? Whenever you're home?
When I'm home, I try to stop by.
Good. And you have a good relationship with them? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, would you say that your family relationships are a strength then, or a need?
I would say they're probably a strength.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so your social support's here. I know that we talked a little bit last week of your desire just to be able to form a more stable group of friends here. So I'm going to say that would be a need. What are some ways in which we can kind of go about doing that?
Well, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I think maybe once I get a job, it might be easier to make friends. Because I haven't really made any friends in the shelter, so I don't know where else I would make friends.
Okay. Do you have any spiritual beliefs at all?
I used to go to church, like when I lived at home, but I haven't really been going.
Okay. would you have an interest in looking into maybe trying out another church and seeing what kind of social support that might be for you, or would you just prefer not to look into that?
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
Just to see, but...
Okay, the decision is completely up to you. There is definitely no forced decisions here. We're just looking into some possible options that you could just kind of explore, because I know that relationships are very important for every human being, especially whenever they're going through difficult times, such as you are right now. So for social support, it's just really being able to find those relationships within work friends and possibly exploring a church option.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are there any other strengths or needs that you can think of that you might want to, like any goals that you might want to add?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right, so I would love to go over this with you. I'm going to have you sign a release form for me, and I'll also have you sign off on our goals that we have set, just to make sure that you and I are both on the same page here. And you will get a copy of this too. That way you're able to kind of have this as your own motivation and everything as you're working towards these things. So some of the needs that we went through, to obtain a job, of which you have 2 applications in it, IHOP. So that is very exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing about the turnout of those applications that are in. We also discussed the need for permanent housing. So I will be looking into a little bit more of that, and I can get back to you the next time we meet about just some referrals and some options that you might have. Vocationally, as I said earlier, just 2 applications, just kind of waiting on those. And the strength of having your high school diploma and just what that means, and that's just huge in your education, so that's very helpful there. Transportation is a strength as you take the bus and you walk. Medically, you are healing, which is a major win. Activities are a need as you're looking to develop friendships and also seeking a job. Legally, that is a strength right now, and that's amazing. Recreationally, also a strength, looking into getting a library pass. That way you have unlimited access to books. We will be looking into some free counseling sessions, and I can get back to you on that the next time we meet. Also, strengths of substance abuse along with family relationships, social supports, looking at possible work friends in the future, and also looking into the possibility of maybe exploring a church option. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. So how do those goals sound? Did I miss anything? Are you okay with everything that we discussed?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any questions for me?
Nope.
No? Okay. If I can just have you sign right here, Lauren Chu, XUE. Okay. And then today is the 10th. 12/10/16. Thank you very much. And Lauren, this is a release form. This is just basically saying that information can be released to me from your counselor, and that your counselor can also receive your information as we are looking into these counseling services. That way we're both able to be kind of on the same page with where you're at in your services. These things checked are all the things that would be released, both to me and to them. If you are okay with this, if you could just sign right here, and then also date. It's 12/10/16. All right, thank you very much. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that we didn't go over?
No.
No? Okay. So for the next meeting, between now and then, I'm going to be looking into the housing and the counseling for you. If you, for a goal possibly that we can set for you is if you maybe think about the church option this week, kind of see what you might want to do with that. If you have an opportunity to visit a church, if that's what you choose, that would be fantastic. If not, that's okay too. We also can look more into just waiting for the job applications. And so right now we're kind of at a standstill, but the next time we meet, we definitely will have more answers. Okay? All right. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.